You already know what it is. Your boy DJ Filthy Rich.
Yeah, it's your boy DJ Big X.
And welcome back to the We Outside show. You know the vibes. We are back outside. And we got another good episode for y'all today, man. We're going to talk about everything that's going on. And, we're going to chop it up about some real shit,
Man,
bro.
a lot of good things going on out here, man. A lot of things going on in Atlanta right now.
Yeah, good and bad, right?
Good, bad, and the ugly.
And the ugly. So we're going to touch on everything. Pause. So I think the biggest storyline right now is going as Young Thug dropped his album.
Oh, yeah.
Lucci also dropped his album.
Oh.
They are both on each other's project.
Okay.
So how do you feel about, we've been spending the past, how long has that trial been going on for Thug? How long was that?
I want to say 3-4 years.
It's been a long time.
Because I know he was in jail, I know for at least 2 years.
Right. So we've been spending at least the very minimum the last 2 years watching Thug go through this trial. And the whole thing, we always knew that Lucci and Thug got tied up in some type of beef, and this is what led to them both getting locked up. So how do you feel about them coming together and making music together?
I kind of feel about that situation the same way I felt about the Jeezy and Gucci situation. A lot of people had, they had invested a lot into those two situations. A lot of people lost their lives on both sides. You know what I'm saying? And when you make a truce like that, you got to act like it's everybody in agreement. Because even though you got the two head guys, which is Lucci and you got Thug, the other side of it is, the teams, are they in agreement? You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times when you see a lot of the stuff that went on with Jeezy after the Gucci and Jeezy stuff, he lost a lot of his team members.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering what effects of what's going on between between Lucci and Thug, will that fallout be the same?
Dang, you know what, X? That's a really good point, man. Because it's if you're beefing with somebody, well, really though, they the figurehead. So a lot of times they weren't even directly involved with the beef anyway, right?
I mean, in so many ways they wasn't. But when you really think about it, and you really look back on it, I mean, they was the. If you go by what the prosecutor said, they was the guy who was making the calls.
Yeah, the catalyst for everything, right? So now let's say you're one of those guys. You was going to war, for one of them. You done lost people.
Right.
You done took people's lives behind that, and then now you see them now on each other's records. How would you feel as somebody who put their life on the line with somebody?
If I'm a soldier, I'm definitely gonna feel a type of way. If I'm a soldier in the field and I've been going hard for the brand and I've been going hard for the beef that's been going on, I'm definitely gonna have a way that I feel about that whole situation. Whether it be good or bad, I'm gonna have I'm gonna feel a type of way.
Yeah, it's human nature.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because, along the way, what if one of those guys that was a part of that was out there soldiering with me got killed? Right. What if, got tied up or that's in jail right now? And now you guys, now that the beef is over, you still got people that's still in jail. You got people that's lost their family. Yeah. So, I'm gonna feel a type of way.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But I think ultimately, right, I know what the goal is just what's best for business. Peace is best for business. War costs money. Beef costs
unity.
money.
Unity. You know what I'm saying? I think one of the best things they got going right now is that they want to come together. That mean a lot of stuff that could happen after now that they're both out. A lot of that's gonna cease. It's not gonna happen. And I think it'd be a good thing for the city.
Yeah, and I hope a lot of people are looking at it that way. That's why I wanted to bring it up, because there's always going to be different opinions on all of it, right? So that's why I wanted to touch on the soldier part first, because, people going to feel away. But if you look at the big picture, we always talk about unity anyway.
Right.
Atlanta is only going to win with unity. That's how we got big in the first place.
Correct.
When everybody started beefing and going to jail and all that shit, that's when the city kind of lost a lot of steam, and it hurt us. It hurt us. So for us to go back to this, I definitely want to salute y'all, man. Salute the Lucci, salute the Thug for even attempting to, bring it back together and just moving forward, man.
Yeah, I just hope people don't measure the success of the music by the outcome of what they actually did. You know what I'm saying? By coming together. I just hope people don't measure, the song didn't do nothing. Just the whole fact of them coming together and want to resolve that situation. I think that's the bigger picture than whether or not they have a hit record together or not. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. That's a fact. And hopefully, a lot of the young G's and the youngers that look up to them can see that there's a way. There's a way to get back.
Because we lost a lot, man. When you really sit down and you think about it, just think about all the young kids, like even in the city right now, that took that route in that direction. And that's out here in the field right now. You seeing a lot of the crime and a lot of stuff that's still going on because those kids they was misled during that time. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and it's just growth, because everybody want to be the man till you got to be the man. You know what I'm saying? Like when you start being responsible for people that's under you, you got people looking up to you. Whatever you bringing in is feeding their family, so niggas gonna ride or die about you.
Man, it's just
that's
like,
a lot of responsibility.
It's just like when you heard those calls and you heard like when you heard Thug on those calls and you going like, he's like, man, you know, I'm in here locked up with people I don't even know. You get what I'm saying? But you was the man. So when they looked at who was making the calls, you was the man. So when they got the man, you had to stand in that position.
Yeah. So
comes along with the job.
It does. And you know, and it's just being a leader, man. I'm looking at it from the perspective of you have all this power. You know what I'm saying? When you have power and you have the ability to have people follow you, you're responsible for what road you're gonna lead them down. Like I had this conversation with my man, shout out to my man Nails, right? So I got young niggas that's willing to crash out over me my whole life. You know what I mean? I've always been a natural born leader, right? People follow me. And I always was cognizant of that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's plenty of times when we was in situations and we'll flip this whole shit over. But I made a point to not do that because I didn't want niggas crashing out. But I grew
up in an era where like if you had beef or you had something going on, in my era, you took care of that beef yourself. You get what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
I never understood why when you get my mans in them and my people's gonna come like. Man, if I got beef with you, we're going to handle that right now. I'm not waiting for your man to get there.
Nah, one-on-one, my nigga.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to catch that fade right then. We ain't going to wait for your mans in them.
Yeah. But if your man's in them is crash outs, your man's in them might already be there. Like, you know, that's a lot of times where I done got into, you know, some situations where people, my man's in them is already there. They'll fuck around and push me out the way and you know what I mean? So, but as a leader, it's your job to kind of be like, yo, chill out, man. Because I don't want to bail everybody out, or I don't want to call your mom and say, yo, my man got smoked because of some shit that I did. You know what I mean?
But I think when you really look at that situation with Thug and Lucci, right? You look at them and you go, man, they had all these people at their disposal ready to crash out.
Yeah.
And you go, they had millions at the same time. What would make them want to take? You want to change people's life. You want to take them out of that environment, right?
Right.
I'm always wondering, like, okay. If I fought to get out of that situation that's been hindering me my whole life, right? What would make me want to go extra hard to go and double down on the life that I'm running from?
Right. Well, you know what it is, bro. It's being young and rich, right? If you are young, like if you young and you never had nothing, and the next day you wake up, you a millionaire, but you still, you are who you are.
Well, let me ask you this: don't you think that when you get, what money brings clarity, right? Sometimes it should.
No. Money brings out the real you.
But if you've never had money before, it should bring some clarity to your life.
I don't think so. We see it.
Why
all
would
the
you
time.
say that though? I mean, like right now, if you went and got $500,000 right now, you mean to tell me you're gonna do some dumb shit?
No, but you're asking me as a grown man with some sense. Now
even if you was 22, I don't think you would do.
No, but I'm not a crash
shit.
out type of person.
Right.
But if you was already a dumbass nigga. Not talking about Thug, and then we just talking about people in general.
Right.
If you just a young dumb nigga,
right?
Now you a young dumb nigga with some money. I don't think that brings clarity because we've seen it too many times. Now I'm a young dumb nigga with some bread, so now I could be the biggest, loudest crash out ever because who gonna tell me anything?
I get that. I agree with that. But at some point you have to go. If I crash out and I go do dumb shit, how do I keep the money?
You're speaking from a logical perspective.
But at some point, if you get to a point where you make $500,000 doing anything, bro, you got to have enough sense to know I got to do something to maintain it. I'm not gonna continue to make $500,000.
Yeah, that's
logical.
Crash
out dummy shit.
No, that's you're.
I'm not being honest.
You're being logical.
Okay. Like I told you earlier, sometimes y'all make me think I'm living in a whole different dimension because I don't get it.
Well, you don't get it because you're not a crash out. So so let's remix it then. So. Again, don't look at it from somebody with sense.
Right.
These niggas lucked up. Let's say it's just a nigga, he's on drugs. He don't have no guidance. He ain't have no real big homies around him. His life is fucked up. One day he go in the studio and make a song that blows up. Right. And somebody give him the bag. There was nobody to teach him, hey, now that you got this money, you could change your life for the better. A lot of niggas be like, I got the bag, now I'm about to go buy some bricks, nigga. We up. We lit. It's a lick.
So that would segue me into asking you this. Do you think when you get to that level of success, like a Thug, or you get to a level of a Future, do you think you need an OG around to give you that guidance?
Man, I'm a firm believer in OGs, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
I am. That's why I try to be one. You know what I'm saying? Like I try to either lead by example or speak to people who will listen. Because if you don't have guidance, you just flying by the seat of your pants. You're gonna make mistakes. Right. Everybody make mistakes. But imagine the advantage you have if you got somebody to say, "Hey, little X, come over here, bro. You got some money? This is what you do. Put your money into this, man. Get your peoples, give them jobs, man. Don't." If you don't have that and you just freestyling through life, then you know.
But what about the OGs that's around you and you got money and they sending you out on the crash out?
See, now them the worst niggas in the world, bro. Those are the worst niggas, and a lot of times that's what it is.
And I speak on that all the time because I always say, like, you know, being an OG sometimes don't always mean you the right type of OG. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a lot of OGs that's like he still out here doing dumb crash out shit.
We know a lot of them.
So the reason
we know a lot of them, bro.
So that's why I say, you know, if you got the right type of OG around you and that's giving you that type of guidance, like I would put myself in that situation with if I had to go and put myself on either side of that, and I look at people like Fly and all those guys that's a part of that, you can actually see, like, if I was there, I would be telling those guys, like, yo, man, listen, bro, we over here making millions. Leave that dumb shit alone.
Yeah.
Leave that, bro. Ain't no space or no place for that.
Facts. So, okay, so this is another conversation in which you know, it's kind of the same thing. So imagine, see, money changes things, right?
Right.
So imagine you a young rich nigga, right? Mm-hmm. And your OG don't have no bread. Are you gonna listen to a nigga that's older than you that you have more money than?
I mean, if he's making sense, I don't really think the status of whether you got money should weigh whether or not if his logic make any sense. Common sense is common sense,
but common sense ain't common.
I don't believe that.
I do, man. You know how many dumbass motherfuckers walking around every day that you meet?
I believe it's a lot of people that's got common sense that do what the fuck they want to do.
So you think they have common sense and still choosing to crash out?
That's what I'm telling you. Because like if you go and you ask, if you go into most of these kids' households right now, you go and speak to their parents, right?
Right.
I'm pretty sure 90%, I want to say at least 95% of these parents are not raising these kids to do
to be that way, right?
Hell no.
Facts. Yeah, no. Yeah.
So they're choosing. They're making the choice to make this decision to go be crash outs, because a lot of times they do have OGs around. They do have different people that's around that's going, hey, man, I wouldn't go do that. I don't think that's what you ought to be doing.
They just don't want to hear that shit.
They don't want it. Bro, I have a kid, okay? We have kids, and they don't want to hear shit.
Nah, my kids is good so far, but they still young. I'm waiting for them to start being on that bullshit.
So but once they get a taste of, you know, having their own identity and being who they want to be in life, you know, they hear you, but then, you know, they pick and choose what they want to hear.
Okay, so when you were young, did you listen to your parents and your OGs?
I will say this. I listened to my mom because she was an authority. She was really...
You were scared of it.
Yeah, my mama was one of the real mamas. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mama would still hit you at 18, 19, 20. She ain't give a damn. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I took it. I don't think I would be where I'm at right now if I didn't listen to my elders. If I didn't listen, you know, one of the big things, one of the major things for me is you always hear me say that your elders, you know what I'm saying? The people that's you know, that has that type of knowledge that could give. You can't move forward without knowing where you're going. You know what I'm saying? Where you came from. So a lot of stuff that we need to know now, you know, I've been here for a minute. Right. So you can't do nothing but learn from me. I've seen and done some things that you haven't done. You know what I'm saying?
You my OG, nigga. That's
right.
why I listen to you.
That's what I'm saying. So I can teach you some things and you can teach me some things. It's a
give and take.
Yeah, it's a give and take. But a lot of kids don't want to do that. They don't understand that. They think at some point, and the crazy thing about it, because you remember when you was young, right? You never thought you would be, you know, you remember when you was calling everybody old and man, them old guys, Now you're gonna grow into that as you get older. Right. You get what I'm saying? So when I look at these kids now, I'm going like, man, when did I become old?
You just wake up old one day, right? Yeah, that fucking knee start cracking and shit when you get out the bed.
Because you know, as you get older, you don't think you older. You don't think you old.
Yeah.
You just think as a number you're getting old. Right. But mentally, you're getting a lot more wiser. You know what I'm saying? And when you get wiser, you just start looking at things a lot differently. things look a lot more clear for you. A lot of people with a lot of bullshit that used to come with you with a lot of bullshit that you might have accepted, you see straight through that shit.
Yeah, and you start trimming the fat. Like I know me, I used to run around 20 deep all the time. That was my thing. Man, you might see me with 2 people. Every time you see me, I'm by myself.
Right. And I mean that was the whole thing. When I look back on my life now, I go, I started out as a crew. We started out as a crew. That's how we came up with the label Rowdy. Mm-hmm. It was a crew of us. All of us, everywhere we went, we was Rowdy. So that's who we end up
Rowdy Records.
We end up naming the label Rowdy Records. You know what I'm saying? But as I grew and I got older and I started going through certain situations, I just started seeing less and less of people being around me because I started pulling away from people. Mm-hmm. Because at the same time, the more people I was around, the more shit I was getting into. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
The less people I was around, the less shit I got into.
Right.
So now I'm what they call a loner.
Yo, bro, you can't get yourself in trouble. If you do dirt by yourself, nobody could tell on you. Right. Being alone is really, you learn that too.
Yeah,
learn
man.
that too.
You know what I'm saying? So, just being a loner and having that time to myself, I'm able to think. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times as black men, we need that space and that place to think. Mm-hmm. It's so much going on out here now. We don't really have that time and place to think. You know what I'm saying? So the most important part is actually gathering your thoughts, putting it together, putting those ideas together, actually seeing like, okay, if I got an event I want to do, or if I got a business I want to structure, sitting down and really going through those ideas and seeing like, okay, I need to take steps A, B, C, and D. And a lot of times we don't have time to do that. We might start a business and never sit down and do none of that and just be on go.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where proper planning, I forget that saying, proper plan
prevents poor execution.
Every time I do something now, I keep those 5 P's in my head.
Yeah. I mean, well, we have to. And then, all right, so a part of that too then goes to, I'm thinking mental health, right? Like, mental health, is that a new thing? Or they just putting a name on it? Because our society, our people, black people, our culture, we grew up, a lot of us, in really, really fucked up situations, bad upbringings, you're growing up around. We came up in the crack era, right? So, drugs and shit like that, prostitution, whatever.
Well, it ain't like it went away.
No, it didn't.
You saying it like it went away.
No, that's my point. So, but when we were growing up, they didn't have no term mental health. Right. You know what I mean? Now they're saying, no, you guys, it's mental health.
But what does that mean, really? Does that mean, because when they say mental health, does that mean you crazy? Does that mean you're mentally challenged? Does that mean, I'm trying to figure, like, because that's a broad statement now when you say,
right.
Well, he's having mental health problems. Yeah. What does that mean?
Right. Well, yeah, right, because it could be either you stressed out or you crazy.
Right. So,
and there's levels to that shit.
When people tell me, they're going like, yeah, he's having some mental health issues. And I'm going like, he crazy?
Right, nigga tripping. That's what you say, man, nigga tripping, bro.
Right. But when I think about mental health, and I always, and I hope I don't offend nobody. If I do, I apologize. But it's like, and my analogy, I always say this. When we grew up, people that was mentally challenged or that was having some mental issues, they had them on a separate bus.
Yes, the short bus.
So we knew where they was. We can identify it with them. You know what I'm saying? Now we live in a society where they not on the bus no more. They grown. We don't know. So just imagine.
They be tweeting us in our comments.
So can you imagine how many people are out here that's not being supervised at this point right now? You get what I'm saying? Just imagine how many kids you grew up in school with that rode the short bus that are out here now that's not being supervised.
Bro, a lot of them rap. A lot of them rap. A lot of them rap. A lot of them come to the showcases.
This is a disclaimer.
I'm speaking for me. A lot of y'all niggas is something wrong with y'all. But they end up rapping and leading a whole generation of people down the wrong path. And you don't even know that the person who you looking up to was on the short bus or would have been on the short bus if the short bus still existed.
But, I mean, you got to think about it. Like, a lot of those guys that rap, especially a lot of the cats, they didn't graduate high school. They probably wasn't. And the crazy part, this is the most challenging thing I ever thought about. That, you can think about when you think about this. Most of the guys that rap probably didn't even do well in English.
No. It
They
can't,
probably didn't even pass an English class,
bro.
but they can rap their ass off.
This why they don't write their rhymes, because they can't spell. They just be going in there freestyling,
See,
punching in and shit.
Hey, this is a disclaimer. These thoughts are his, not mine.
These are DJ Filthy Rich's thoughts. Y'all niggas can't read or write. That's why y'all don't write your rhymes, because that's why your shit sound like that. Because you be like, hey, twin, punch me in, twin. And they just babble some shit. Punch me in again, twin. Shout out to all the engineers out there, too, man. Y'all the real MVPs, because I couldn't do it, man. I come from the school to, you know what I'm saying? You write your rhymes down, get your thoughts together. They just be freestyling.
So you think that, so let me ask you this.
I stand on everything I say. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
So
that's how I feel, bro.
But Jay-Z is one of the guys that started to like
doesn't write, right?
Right.
Look how eloquent his rhymes be and how detailed his stories be. Everybody's not Jay-Z.
They're not, but that don't make it mean like he could be the only person that does it.
It doesn't, but it don't mean everybody. Okay, so if I let's say I could let's say I could dribble backwards real good going down the basketball court, right? Like it's just I'm just good at that. I can dribble backwards.
Right.
Shit, everybody just start dribbling backwards in the fucking middle of a basketball game?
No.
Okay then. Just because one nigga could do it don't mean everybody could do it.
Yeah,
Some of y'all need to write.
I never thought about that. I never thought about like the rappers really couldn't spell and couldn't. Because I always thought like, you know, me being a producer, when I came up, you went in the studio, you wrote a rhyme out. Yeah. You waited for you made the beat and you waited for the rapper to write the rhyme. Yeah. And then you go in there, you actually perform the record. Mm-hmm. Now when I see these cats now, I be like, man, where the paper at? You ain't gonna write no rhyme? They be like, nah, man, just turn that shit on. I'm going there and go up.
Punch me in, twin. You know Punch me in, twin. So it sound like that, right. But again, this is coming from somebody where you know niggas gonna be mad at me.
We won't sound like haters, man. We can't sound like haters.
I don't give a fuck. It's not because to me it's not hate. It's like you like what you like, right?
Right.
Because it's a lot of young niggas that I love. Right. I love, and they probably don't write either, which is cool. I'm just saying, it's a lot of people you can listen to their music or listen to their interviews, and you could tell they not. You know.
Okay. So let me lead it. Let me lead into this.
The light is not bright.
So let me lead into that from that conversation.
Okay.
So from the female perspective, right? So let's go. We talked about the guys. Let's go to the females, right?
Yeah.
How long do you think the whole content will last?
Sex sells. And I think that's really where I got to leave my answer, because you can only just like the guys, right? You can only talk about selling dope and shooting niggas and gangbanging so many ways. We done heard it every way.
You can only talk about hoeing so many different ways.
Exactly.
Right.
But I think the difference is the girls talk about hoeing is cool.
Right.
But once they get on the gram showing their ass and their titties and all that, niggas is going to look and continue to look.
But you're going to get that look. That's a guarantee.
But that's going to keep them relevant, because a nigga don't even have to. Most niggas is not riding around listening to the girls' music, but they on that gram. They looking at them videos, looking at them pictures.
But does that add? Well, okay, that takes us to content being okay. So now those girls, you're not listening to the music. So now does that make you now just a content creator?
Yes, for the most part.
Because I'm not listening to your music. I'm only watching you twerk your ass. So
yeah, the twerk is the commercial for the album. But a lot of people don't make it. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, damn, she bad. Let me see what she talk about. But you're not really going to be listening to the whole album. For some people. But yeah, content creation is bigger than the music. Might be at this point. Like, you can't just be an artist and not create content no more. Nobody's even going to find you.
Right, but that's what I was telling you earlier about, like, the content. Like, are you creating so much content to where people just not listening to the music and you now are a content creator?
I would say yeah, and honestly, in this climate, I think there's probably more money in the content creation than in the music.
But how does that benefit? I mean, I understand it benefits you financially. I get that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
That's the goal.
But if you're trying to build a career as an artist, doesn't that lead people away from your music?
Can you be successful if you don't? Like, let's say you're just you're an artist. You're like, I just want people to compare.
But no, so now what you're telling me now is music don't sell.
Yeah, I've been saying that. I've been saying that. I could be wrong, but I've been feeling that way. Yeah. Because what does it sell?
I mean, a sale is me liking the record, me going to purchase the record, me going to listen to it, me going to stream the record. So
how much is that worth these days?
To an artist, it is not worth much.
That's what I'm talking about. As an artist,
it's not.
You have to make a living off of this. we talk about it every week. We don't know what a stream is worth. They move the goalposts. The deals are bad.
But if I came in this game to be an artist, right? If I came in here and I wanted to be X, the super incredible MC,
right?
How do I go from being an MC to the #1 content creator on Instagram?
Because how in these days, how do you fight through the noise to even get somebody to pay attention to you and your music?
But shouldn't that work together though, Fieldy? Like I'm just saying, like if I'm gonna be a content creator, right?
First or artist first?
I'm an artist first.
Okay, right.
But I've done so much content to where now I'm looked at as a content creator. Nobody's listening to my music. To my music. So now it's like people are waking up and they're going to my page to look for my content. How do I put myself back in that situation where people are listening to my music? Even though I'm this big content creator, people are looking at my content every day. How do I put myself back in the space to where now I can bring them back to listening to my music?
Man, a hit solves everything. That's my only answer.
But
what else you gonna do?
But how are they gonna hit a hit if they're not even? They ain't even looking for the hit.
I'm hoping you putting your music in the back of this content that you making. I'm hoping while you're making this content, your song is playing.
Well, we know that's not happening. We've seen people make great, amazing skits and never put their music. Like we know some guys that just made an amazing skit.
Yeah.
And like I said, they didn't.
Don't nobody know the music.
Nobody know their music. So did it really benefit them?
No, that hurt them because it hurt them with they targeted the wrong people.
I get that, but what I'm saying is because they didn't put any music in it.
Yeah, it would have been smart to do that. Yeah, I would have done that.
I would have done that if I was gonna if I'm gonna get 30,000 views or 40,000 views on something, at least
my song got to be in there.
I want my logo on it. I want something where people it'll bring them back to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's why I say sometimes if you doing the content, it could be beneficial if you think like that.
How you do the content, right?
Yeah, right. How you do it, but if you don't do the content in that manner, then you're missing the whole point of doing it. Because viral you only can go viral for a week.
Yep.
Then after that week, then what do you do?
So what do they call? They call that what is that a call to action, right? Call to action.
Okay.
So when you're making content, you want a call to action. Your call to action should be listen to my music. Here's my song. Here's where to find it.
But how do you do that in a skit? Would you put that at the end of the skit? Like, at the end of the skit, this is me. Make sure you check out my new video.
Yeah, same way like YouTube. Like, hey, man, like, share, subscribe to the We Outside Show. Follow us on all platforms. It's the same shit. You need to be like, yo, this my new single is coming out tomorrow.
But that'll take away from the skit. At that point, you go, damn, they made a skit to sell the music.
But that is what you're supposed to be doing if you're an artist.
Yeah, but you don't want it to look like that, though.
So how do you do it? Are you a skit maker or are you an artist?
That's the point I just
see what I mean. So
is that not what we just been talking about?
Yes.
Are you an artist or are you a content creator?
But you have to be both. You can't just be an artist.
But what do you do when your music is not selling? Now they look at you as a content creator, and then if they do start
more content and stop making music, because obviously they're not fucking with you on the music. You know what I mean? Like, listen, you got to go with what's working. Right? If the content is working and the music ain't working, hey, man, go get your content popping there because obviously nobody care about the music. And then maybe, hopefully, they'll circle back around and be like, man, I like this nigga, man. He made music. Let me go listen to it at some point.
Because it's like, I ain't even gonna lie. It's a few artists here in Atlanta right now, right? I like them a lot. I like their music a lot. But I think as time went on now, I just see them as content creators. I don't even look for the music.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying?
It's tough, man. It's tough being an artist right now.
You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to figure it out. Like, okay, now that everybody's content creators, and that was the one thing we pushed artists to do. Make sure you put up more content on your page. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. Now that we got them doing that, how do we get the music back out front?
Yeah, the content is always going to have to, in my opinion, revolve around the music. So you don't just become a content creator. So whatever you're doing, like, there's different ways to do content. Like, okay, it doesn't have to be skits. So, the Russell again, I bring him up a lot.
Yeah, you like Lil Russell.
I like him, bro. I fuck with him because we the same type of nigga, bro. You got to be an entrepreneur and you got to be smart about how you do it.
Right.
Every song should have 3 pieces of content around it.
I should have more than 3 pieces of content.
At least. So if the content revolves around the record, then you are doing it right. Now, if you're just doing skits that don't have nothing to do with the music, then you're doing the content wrong, right? The content should revolve around your music, your project, your shows, your merch. Then it's the call to action. Why am I watching this content? Oh, whatever this is about his song. His video was dropping, or he got a show, or he got a merch. I think the content you have to be really cognizant of how you're putting this content out to where it's benefiting you and you're not just doing it to be doing it.
Do you think artists should, even now, you think grassroots, like real grassroots promotions?
It's my
Does
favorite.
It work?
I think grassroots is my favorite. I think that's undefeated. The clips just showed you. They saying this is the best rollout ever, and all they're doing is what niggas used to do. What I feel like you're supposed to do. Cardi B took it to the next grassroots.
She went to the train. She was on the subway.
Yes, bro. She was twerking in the middle of the hood. She came to DBS Sound. She's signing.
Yeah, that was crazy, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Taking pictures, kissing babies. That is undefeated, bro.
Yeah, like she brought out 3,000 people to a in-store. That was crazy.
Yeah.
So that really showed the power of like how, like artists just being present right now, like being able to touch the fans, being able to be present in the midst of people that's adoring you.
They want to meet you.
The people still want that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And that goes back to last week's episode. That's why I was saying the AI artists, they can only do so much. An AI artist can't come do it in store and meet the people. And like Chris Brown, people is paying to come to the meet and greet. You know, there's levels to this real people interaction that you cannot beat. Grassroots, you cannot beat. Old school promotion, you can't beat that. It's flawless.
Nah, you can't, man. I like I even gonna lie, like I even like the old like Puffy style of promotions. You know, like
it's the best
with the signs.
Yes.
And you know, you just got a bunch of people out there promoting with flyers and all that. You know, I still think hand to hand and that type of promotion still works. Even though I hate flyers.
So do I.
But it worked.
Yep. Yeah.
Because if nothing else, before you throw that flyer away,
you're gonna look at
you're gonna look at it at least. You know what I'm saying?
So at least make your flyer
at
least good looking flyer. Have your QR code on there. Again, it's a call to action because really that's still a form of content.
Yeah. So even when you bring up QR code, like, and I want to touch on that for a minute. Like when you bring up QR code, how important do you think kids now, especially with QR codes making everything so accessible with the phones? Do you think it's really important that everybody have QR codes and like the link trees and that kind of thing?
Absolutely.
You think that's mandatory for artists in 2025?
Yes, because even if you do grab somebody's attention, all right, you only got their attention quick.
Right.
Once you leave, it's over with. So while you had them, did you send them somewhere to go fuck with you?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like even I even implemented that on 85 when we was doing the tours on the 85 tour. I would have QR codes on the screens. This is when I was doing creative direction for them on the screen where people from their seats could scan the QR code for the merch at the front. So if you didn't want to wait in line, you could scan the screen while you're sitting in your seat while I'm DJing.
Wow.
Pull it up. Whatever shirt you want, you could buy it right there. And at the end of the show, you could go to the.
Yeah. We need that at New Music Monday.
Listen, I'm a genius. You got to utilize me, man.
Yeah, we need that New Music Monday.
But yeah, so the QR code is everything, man. Bro, it's everything.
Yeah, because we living in an age of like everything is digital now, man. Especially like with merch. I think merch is like one of the most easiest things for artists to do, especially if you got a good brand and logo. You can definitely sell some T-shirts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we got the We Outside show shit coming.
Yeah, they coming.
Yeah, everything we saying, we doing.
It's coming.
And you do know that.
Oh yeah, and you do. That's got to be a shirt. And you do know that.
And you do know that.
Yeah. I got that from one of my West Coast partners.
For real?
Take that. Yeah,
I like that.
That's one of my partners, West Coast partners. But when we looking at this thing now, man, like especially, where do you see us going, especially in Atlanta now that you got Futuristic Summer? Mm-hmm. You got the Jermaine Dupri album came out.
Right.
Those are two anticipated albums.
Yeah.
And now we're going into the winter, fall.
Yeah.
School is back in, football season, basketball season. Mm-hmm. This is the colder months in Atlanta. Where do you see us going musically?
Musically?
Yeah.
That's tough, man. I honestly feel like somebody has to come from left field.
Right.
I really feel that way because, okay, like you said, all right, so we did the Futuristic Summer, we did Jermaine, now we just did Thug and Lucci and Gunna all drop. So it's either the people that's been out are going to keep winning, like, okay, Future ain't dropped an album in a while. Is he going to surprise us with an album? Or is it going to be somebody from left field? Like, I know everybody's on Belly Gang right now, but he hasn't dropped an album yet. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he'll surprise people with the fourth quarter. Everything else is kind of.
Well, we in the fourth. I want to say we in fourth quarter.
We are now. That's what I'm saying. So for the winner, it got to be some.
Because we had the girls, but like I will say this was, even though they say we didn't have a song for the summer, but this was definitely a hot girl summer.
What?
Like
yes.
You had Pluto, you had Barnaby, you had
YK Niece.
YK Niece. What's the girl that had the ATL record? Bankroll Nay.
Yes.
I think it's the Bankroll Nod, Bankroll Nay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was definitely a hot girl summer.
And I'm not mad at that because girls like to party. The girls was lit
Man,
all summer.
you heard my theory last week. You got the girls, you got to party. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, if now that we had the girls, we had the hot girl summer. Where are we gonna go now? You think we got any? You got the Belly Gang guy. Who else? What other males do you think we got? Because that was a great question that Jermaine asked. We kind of all just kind of flew. We kind of like didn't really want to answer because we kind of all knew the answer.
Not only that, because all you niggas that's probably gonna be in the comments under this episode too is gonna be like, well, you ain't named me, and I'm hot, and I'm blah blah blah, and I got next, and blah blah blah. All right, listen, bruh, we can't keep up with all you niggas. If you hot, you would be on our radar, and we would know your name. It would come up right now. Like me and X are big DJs out here. We've been DJing for a long time.
Right.
We active. We are outside. If your name ain't popping up in our heads right now, then that's not our fault. That's on you. Get our attention. Go make some content.
Yeah, yeah, get some content.
Get some content with a QR code. But nah, I don't know, bro. I don't know who's next. I'm hoping somebody dope just comes out of nowhere, bro, and just shock the world. We need we need something new.
I keep saying this, man. Like, and everybody keeps saying the music in Atlanta has to change. It has to change. It has to change. I don't think the artist can change the music. That's my theory. I don't think the artist is gonna change the music.
What do you mean by that?
I think the producer, the sound, the music, the sound, that's what changes the music. Like when you think about trap music, what's the first thing you identify when you think about trap music?
The beats.
It's the sound.
Yes.
When you think about house music, when you think about R&B, when you think about chill rap and all these different genres of music that we have now, the first thing you think about is the beat.
It's a great point.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I think when we putting all this pressure on the artist to make this, we waiting on this next artist to come. But that artist can't come until, even when you think about when you look at the success of Timbaland and Missy, right?
Such a great point, bro.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
They brought a new sound.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? That whole perspective that Timbaland had and Missy had, that changed the sound of hip hop at the time. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So every evolution in hip hop has to have a new sound. You get what I'm saying? So when somebody else creates a new sound, you're gonna see an explosion in music again. You
Right.
get what I'm saying? But right now, I think we just stuck on 808 drum sounds and the three finger chords.
Do you think? Music can always evolve, right? But there's been so much music. What would even? Okay, you're a producer, right?
Right. No doubt.
If you were to, and you do know that, if you went in the studio next week with a new artist, like a new artist, a brand new, and he was very talented, and he could sing, rap, he could handle any kind of sound. What type of sound would you give him?
I don't know what I would give him, because I'm gonna tell you the first thing I would do. I would get in the studio and actually work with him. I would actually play him some different sounds and play him some different records and try to get into his head and see where he would want to go. I think one of the major problems with this music shit now is that when you send guys a beat tape with 10 beats on it,
They just go do their thing.
them 10 beats weren't designed for him.
Right.
So them 10 beats was designed for anybody to get on.
So you're talking about actually producing an artist,
Well,
not giving a nigga a beat.
Well, like I said, you asked me was I a producer. I come from that era where you produce. Where when you went in the studio, I used to go in the studio before I even I even knew who the artist was. I used to get paid to go in the studio and then go in the studio and make the beat. Mm-hmm. We would make the beat on the fly. We didn't send nobody no beat.
Right.
When you got hired as a producer, you got hired as X, or you got hired as Jermaine, you got hired as Rico Wade and Organized Noise. You get what I'm saying? You didn't get hired as, oh man, yeah, you sent me a beat, now we're gonna go in here and record it.
Yeah, you cooked up.
We cooked up right there.
Yeah.
Because now that beat was tailor made for that artist. It fit his persona. It fit who he was as a person. I think a lot of times when you just get beats and people sending you beats, dudes just going, yeah, I can rap over that shit. I sound good over that. And if it actually turn out and it sound good, then you go, oh, that's a good record.
Right.
But
right.
for the most part, a lot of these records are just like, I can rap over that shit.
Yeah, just do something.
Right.
Punch me in, twin. So, man, that's such a good point. So let's not put so much pressure on the artist. Then I think it's time to start putting the pressure on his producers.
Yeah, I mean, because when you think about it, everybody gets ragged on. Everybody get treated like a punching bag except for the producer. And when the producer is really he's the main person of the whole exchange. You get what I'm saying?
For sure.
You think about music, you can't rap without. You can go in there and clap. You can put some claps together and rap over the claps. But if you want a real beat and some real shit, you got to have a real producer in there.
Yeah.
That's why back in the day, Dr. Dre, the Timbalands, the Dallas Austins, the Jermaine Dupri's, and a lot of those guys. That's why they got the big bucks.
Yep.
Because they could go in there and produce a record from scratch.
Yeah, you can't You can't make a movie without a script. You gotta have a good script. Like, okay, so most of the biggest artists and some of the maybe all of the best albums ever made were all curated with the producer and the artist. So we talking Quincy Jones and Michael Jackson. We talking Dre and Snoop. We talking Timberland and Missy, and we talking about Pharrell and the Clips. Like, there's a clear difference.
Every time you've had an era of you had a great artist, it came with a great producer.
Yes.
Just think of every artist that you think that's a household name right now. You can attach a producer to it.
Facts. Yep. And that's what we're missing too. So no, we had so like it was what Future and Metro and them, and then we had the Migos didn't really have like one, but there's still some of the biggest art like Drake and 40.
Right.
Yeah. That recipe is
man. So that's what I'm saying. So if we looking for that change, we looking in the wrong places.
Yeah.
We looking for the artist to. An artist can only do what a producer.
For sure.
Right. You see where I'm going with this? So it's like until the producers go, yo, man, I got to dig in my bag and go a little deeper than, at the 808 sounds. I got to dig a little deeper than just using the stock sounds out of this keyboard and the stock sounds out of Logic and bend the knobs a little bit and start
where the nerds at?
You know what I'm saying? So most people when they most of these guys that are producers now, especially a lot of the young producers, they're not actually going in there tweaking the equipment. They don't really know about the kilohertz, the hertz, and the different things that can make different sounds. They just dialing in what's already there.
And we were talking about at lunch frequencies.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah, which is we might get a little deep on y'all, but there's certain frequencies that touch people in certain ways, and if producers are tapping into that and you're aware of that, you can really
I mean, as a producer, you got different frequencies that can make you feel a certain type of way. You got melodies that can make you feel a type of way. So a lot of this, even when they saying you're being programmed by the music, you really are being programmed by the music.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So when you think about kilohertz and hertz and the frequencies and all of that is a form of being programmed.
Well, okay. So while we're there, I think that whatever. These are my opinions, right? So I think for the past 10 years, whatever frequency we've been on has kind of been fucking us up because there's perfect example. In the Magic City documentary, they were talking about when Ecstasy came out.
Right.
And the producers started making music. We all popping pills in the club. There's a certain frequency of music that you want to hear when you're feeling like that.
Yeah,
right?
They drop the hertz.
Right. So, if there's the whole generation of people who've been lit off pills and shit in the club. I'm not excluding myself, you know what I mean? But, if you've been doing that for 10 years, you're going to be susceptible to a certain type of music. You know what I mean? So we're going to have to switch that too because we all you can't be high forever.
Well, I mean, if you do that, then now you're talking about taking away the 808. Like, and the 808 is a major part of music right now. They got this thing going on too, man. I seen they got this thing called the No 808 movement. Like, they got producers that are making music without using the 808 drum machine. And I think that's great. I think the 808 drum machine is a great tool, but I think we've overdone it to the point to where, like, now we're driving 808 to the point to where now we got 808 playing the bass line. You know what I'm saying? So,
which is crazy.
You know what I mean? So at some point we got to get back to making music. I think melodies are major things that's got to come back in music. You got harmonies and all those different things that's got to come back. We stripped down the music so raw to where, like, now, I'm talking about we stripped it down.
Yeah, there's no instrumentation or nothing.
Yeah, bro. So it's like when you think about just trap, all that is like 3-finger chords, three-finger instrumentation. We just got to bring back real musicians, man. I think music, because for me, I'm into real musicians. I like music.
Me too.
I like music itself. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I think a lot of that is missing right now. We could get musicians, if we can get kids to even just start making music again. I think it's great that the kids are taking a lot of interest in the drum machines and that kind of thing, because that's like for me, that was my entry point into the music business, was the drum machine and DJing and turntables. And as I grew in music, I learned, how to get in the studio and work with a bass player, a keyboard player, and instruments and different things like that. So everybody has to have an entry point. But I think at some point, we have to actually get these kids back focused on being musicians, man. I think that's what's wrong. You got to have a kid that'll pick up the trumpet, that'll play the horn,
saxophone,
that'll play the violin.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Everybody can't be a drum maker, a beat maker. You get what I'm saying? You got to have some people that's gonna play the guitar, that's gonna be a pianist, that's gonna be a great saxophone player. You get what I'm saying? I think those things are needed. I think a lot of times we miss the niche in music that you got to fill those voids. You know what I'm saying? Like if everybody making rap music, shit, I'm gonna go make some rock music. If everybody making this, I'm gonna go make something else.
Yeah, you got to go left.
You got to go left, and that's and like just imagine this. I give you a prime example. I give you one of the things that you can think about like this, and why it worked. When everything was going gangster, when NWA was out and everything and all that LA shit was going out, what went left in '88 and '89 that made the world go crazy and it's still around to this day, and that was De La Soul. It was totally different from everything that came out during that time.
Yes, Tribe, all of them.
It was totally different.
Yeah.
So if you think different, you'll pull people with you. But if you stay on that same road, you're gonna always get that same thing every time.
Create your own lane. There's less traffic.
Got to. That's why I always say fill the void. Learn the niches and shit that's not there.
Yeah.
Learn the things that like I always tell female rappers this. I tell females this all the time. Right now, there's no female groups. There's no male groups. There's no R&B groups. There's no group nothing.
Yeah. Nobody wants to split that money.
Right. So this is what I'm saying. If I see a group that's hot, I might be able to squeeze that. That may be a lane I can squeeze in a lot faster than being a solo artist.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people forget before it was Beyonce, it was Destiny's Child.
Facts. Yes.
Beyonce came out of Destiny's Child. Mm-hmm. So just think about all the people that came out of groups.
Cisco, Drew Hill.
Come on, bro. Like, you see what I'm saying? So we got to go back to really start thinking like real music industry people and stop thinking like, hey, man, I just want to hit a lick.
Right.
Because to me, when I think about music now, everything is like everybody just want to hit a lick.
It is that. So from the artist side, it's the lick. And then from the decision makers, it ain't even the music business. It's damn near the tech business.
Well, they making a lick. They ain't trying to hit a lick.
Yeah,
they hit the lick.
But it's not. But they're not in it for the music. It's a tech company, really, right? Like,
well, I mean, you got to think about it. A tech company is the money right now. Everything is digital, so that is the money. Like, we don't even know what they actually get paid on those sites when they, you still get paid from the website itself. You get what I'm saying? So,
right.
So, we still don't know what they make from that.
Whatever back end deals they doing
you
off the traffic,
so,
selling your information.
Come on, bro. Like, it's a whole bunch of stuff we don't know. All we could do is just, be a part of the game right now. Make sure, we get what we supposed to get. You know what I'm saying? Worry about yours. Stay in your lane. You know what I mean?
But you got to think bigger because every time you hit accept them cookies, nigga, somebody getting paid off them cookies. It ain't us.
Yeah, man. It's big right now.
We're getting deep on
this. Yeah. So, but when we go back to just the music itself, like I said, bro, music is moving rapidly fast right now. Like, you got a lot of different things going on right now when you think about, like, just the other day, Spotify changed their again they changed the terms of agreement. So as an artist, before you even hit the check button on Spotify now, you really need to read the terms of agreement now. You know what I'm saying?
And nobody's reading that.
Why would you?
Why would you? Exactly. And even if you do read it, you're not going to understand what it's saying. Intentionally, they making it to where you're not going to
But now even like, and this is what what's my man that be coming on Dizza, the
Mizza, yeah.
The Mizza.
He the man.
See, but the Mizza, I'm going to tell you what he did. Now, he took those same terms of agreement and he put it in ChatGPT, and ChatGPT gave him the wrong information.
Oh, it was wrong. Oh, he had to backtrack and
yeah, so he had to come back and take that post down and backtrack and recant what he said. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because even though a lot of things he said wasn't true, a lot of the things that he did say were
true
in that shit too. You get what I'm saying? So as an artist right now, I think we do have to be very careful of these platforms. Just like my man, I was gonna put this post up. My man Mike, shout out to Mike in LA, my partner Mike. He's talking about like Spotify's putting a program together now where they're trying to make the Spotify be able to DJ, where they're taking the actual information from DJs, because now Spotify is going to be on those platforms like Serato, Recordbox, and all that. The same way you can get Tidal, now Spotify is going to be on those platforms, and they're going to take the data from Spotify and use that to feed and train their AI
to DJ.
Yes, sir. So DJs, you got to get your game together, because I promise you, they're not only trying to eliminate us, they're actually in our face right now. Is coming. You get what I'm saying? So,
right. Well, okay, so we talk about artists, we talked about producers. Let's talk about we're DJs, right?
Right.
So all you DJs out there, let's start actively thinking of what you're going to do to separate yourself from the algorithm.
Because the crazy thing about that too, think about it like this:
we got to be content creators too.
Yeah, so listen, all of those special records you thought you was playing that was unique and blah blah blah. Now they gonna know what those records are.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Stealing all the sauce.
Yeah. You know, now they may not be able to get a digital copy of it because, you know, that might be the one and only copy that, you know, was made of it or whatever. But they'll definitely have knowledge of, okay, what time it was played, what was played, how it was played, what deck it was on, what venue it was in. You know, this thing is getting the information. We live in an age of information right now. So all of these things are going to be needed. Like even now, like you got DJ Monitor and Billboard who just put out a chart of, you know, the hottest records that's popping right now,
right.
Which we you know, as far as coalition, we helped them put that chart together. You get what I'm saying? So the analytics and stats that's available and the information that's available for the music that's moving out here, it's there.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So what the artists have to do is just be real proactive right now and make sure they're in the street, making sure they're hitting these platforms, making sure, like, if you got a Spotify account, you're using all of the services that Spotify has. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because Spotify, once you put that record up, they give you a lot of services inside of Spotify that a lot of artists don't even use.
Right. Or know about.
Right. So when you don't make those playlists or you don't get an opportunity to get on those playlists, that's because you didn't check off or you didn't look into those services once you got your Spotify for Artists page.
Yeah.
You can go through that Spotify for Artists page and be a part of that. But I'm even at the point where, like, now I'm like we were 2 years ago when you was like Spotify, because, you know, direct to consumer, to me, like I said, for artists to win, I just think you got to go back to direct to consumer.
That's it. You're building your community and you're making more money. Cut out the middleman.
Yeah,
There's too many middlemen. Yo, death to all middlemen. I mean, middleman.
Well, I ain't gonna say, wait.
The middleman, right?
I
talk about people and companies.
Sometimes we need a middleman. Sometimes we need the middleman.
Man, shit. Well, don't be all right, I'll put it to you like this. If you're gonna be a middleman, be a good middleman. Don't be no sucker.
Right.
Don't be in the way. Help them. You know what I'm saying? Well, shit, man. I think we covered a lot of good topics today.
We did good. We did good today.
Yeah. Y'all let us know in the comments what y'all think about some of these topics we talk about, man. We go back and forth. You know, I respond in the comments.
And don't forget to do what?
Like, share, and subscribe. We might put a QR code up here so we can take our own advice.
Yeah, man, put that QR code up there so we can get busy, bro.
You know the vibes. This is DJ Filthy Rich.
Yeah, this your boy DJ Big X.
And this is the We Outside Show. We outside.